Welcome to CyberSense, the podcast where cybersecurity meets strategy, storytelling, and real-world lessons. I'm your host, Anthony, and today's episode takes us deep into two of the most impactful cyber attacks in recent history: the SolarWinds supply chain compromise and the Clinic Pipeline ransomware breach. But here's the twist. We're not just talking about the malware or firewalls. We're exploring how human decisions, access control policies, and organizational oversights played a role in each failure. You will walk away understanding why identity and access management, which known as IAM, is more than just logins, and how CIA and AAA frameworks help prevent massive cyber risks, and what business, boards, and even individuals must do to protect digital assets in today's threat landscape. So, whether you're a student, a cybersecurity analyst, or a business leader, stick with me. You might rethink your organization's entire cybersecurity posture. Module 1 Module 1 told us the cybersecurity isn't just a job for IT. It's a strategic business function. It involves leadership, finance, compliance, and operations. Every single department. Cyber attacks today aren't just about stealing data. They disrupt supply chains, manipulate public trust, and even trigger national security responses. The 2024 IBM Threat Intelligence Index reported that the ransomware and supply chain attacks are more frequent, more damaging, and more targeted than ever before. That's why we learned about the CIA trend, the confidentiality, or keep information hidden from unauthorized users. Integrity, ensure that the information hasn't been tampered with. Availability, ensure that the systems and data are accessible when needed. And then the AAA framework. Authentication, are you who you say you are? Authorization, what are you allowed to do? And accounting, are your actions being tracked? In theory, this framework sounds like common sense, but in practice, organizations struggle to implement them consistently. As we will see in SolarWinds and Clinical Pipeline, the cost of failure isn't just digital, it's human, financial, and political. In 2020, an IT company called SolarWinds was unknowingly hacked by advanced threat actors believed to be tied to a Russian intelligence group. These attackers infiltrate the company's software development pipeline and inserted malware into its Orin platform updates. The result, over 18,000 of organizations, including U.S. federal agencies like Homeland Security, the Treasury, and major Fortune 500 companies, downloaded and installed compromised software. So, how did this happen? It begins with trust. SolarWinds was a trusted vendor. Its updates were assigned and verified, but trust without validation is dangerous. No one expected an internal update to carry malware. That's where supply chain risk become deadly. Now, let's apply the CIA trait. The confidentiality gone. Attackers had access to emails, credentials, and internal systems. Integrity broken. The software itself was modified, and the digital signature said it was safe. Availability? System had to be taken offline for inspection and rebuilding. But the root problem, weak access governance and insufficient visibility into software pipelines. In Module 2, we studied the access control modules like RBAC, Role-Based Access Control, DAC, Discretionary Access Control, MAC, Mandatory Access Control, ABAC, Attribute-Based Access Control. These four access control modules, if organizations had implemented stricter access policies and audit trails, especially in their continuous integration and development (CI or CD) environments, they might have detected the unusual change to their code repository sooner. And don't forget, the attackers had persistence for months. Why? Because accounting, the third A in AAA, was weak. Logs weren't monitored, and alerts were missed. This attack didn't just highlight technical vulnerabilities. It showed us how a lack of accountability and layered access controls can turn a single compromised update into an international crisis. And in May 2021, just the world was catching a breath from SolarWinds, the US was rocked again. This time by a ransomware attack on Clinical Pipeline, which operates the largest refined fuel pipeline in the country. This wasn't a sophisticated backdoor. It was a single leaky VPN password, one that didn't even have multi-factor authentication enabled. That's all it took for the group known as DarkSide to encrypt Clinical's business systems, forcing the company to shut down operations, leading to panic buying and fuel shortages from Georgia to New York. Clinical paid a $4.4 million ransom to get the decryption key, a decision later criticized by experts, regulators, and the public. Now, let's discuss the IAM failures. Authentication, no MFA on a remote access point. Authorizations, the compromised credentials gave more access than they should have. Accounting, Clinical admitted they did not even know how the attackers got in initially. So in our Module 2 reading, we saw how company-wide MFA rollout reduced takeover attempts by 90%, and how company Z saved millions through automated account provisioning. Clinical missed both these best practices. This attack also highlights what the Harvard Business Review article argued. Boards are having the wrong conversations about cybersecurity. Clinical's board was focused on operations, not resilience. Instead of asking what's our cyber exposure, they asked how quickly can we pay the ransom and get back online. Cybersecurity wasn't built into their strategic risk planning, and that failure cost the US both money and public confidence. So, what do we actually learn from those two incidents? Let's turn theory into practice. Trust must be earned and varied. That's what we learned first. The SolarWinds attack taught us that even trust vendors must undergo continuous security reviews. And the use of ABAC can restrict access based on device, time, location, not just a job title. What we've learned next. IAM is a culture, not a tool. Critical lack of MFA inexcusable in 2025. It's low cost, easy to implement, and high return. Proper IAM means lifecycle management, automate provisioning, regular audits, access revocation, and real-time monitoring. Lesson 3. Logging and accountability save lives. Both attacks involved long dwell times, months before discovery. If logs were monitored and if alerts were escalated, the story might be different. We also learned executive awareness matters. From the HBR article to our own readings, one thing is clear: cybersecurity must be governed like financial risk. CISOs should report directly to boards, and boards should ask, what will our business do if ransomware hit tomorrow? And the last lesson we've learned is resilience over perfection. No system is 100% secure, but we can invest in resilience. Incident response plans like backups, branch simulations. So finally, let's not forget the human side. This instance affects field delivery, government secrets, livelihood, and trust. Cybersecurity is no longer just about the data, it's about people. So, what's the real lesson here? Whether you're coding software, managing a team, or sitting in a boardroom, you play a role in cybersecurity. By implementing IAM best practices, respecting the CIA and AAA frameworks, and asking hard questions before a breach happens, we can reduce the damage, shorten recovery times, and build systems that are ready for tomorrow's threats. Thanks for listening to CyberSense. If today's episode made you think twice about your organization's digital defense, share with a colleague or bring it up in your next team meeting. The conversation needs to start somewhere, and it might as well start with you. Until next time, stay secure, stay skeptical, and stay prepared.